On September 15, 2008, Lehman Brothers, a global financial services firm, filed for the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history. It marked a pivotal moment in the financial crisis that rocked the world economy. But what really went wrong? How did a firm with over 150 years of history collapse so suddenly? Let's dive deep into the rise and fall of Lehman Brothers and uncover the intricate web of decisions, risks, and missed opportunities that led to its demise. Lehman Brothers was founded in 1850 by German immigrant Henry Lehman. What started as a dry goods store in Alabama evolved into a powerhouse in investment banking.
Lehman Brothers was a significant and important player in the 2000s in the US, in the investment banking industry. At that time, it was number 4. Lehman also was one of the most aggressive players in the industry. People, kids, MBAs, students would love to go and work for Lehman. I mean, this was a prime job for them.
By the early 2000s, Lehman was a behemoth in the financial world, involved in investment banking, trading, research, private equity, and more. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Lehman Brothers thrived. They were heavily involved in the booming real estate market and had a strong presence in mortgage-backed securities. This period of prosperity, however, sowed the seeds of their eventual downfall. The early 2000s saw an unprecedented housing boom in the United States. Home prices soared, and Lehman Brothers, like many of its peers, dove headfirst into the mortgage market.
As house prices kept going up, it seemed a one-way bet to making millions.
I was working on what was happening to mortgages of Bank of America. We were actually seeing aggressive growth in the mortgage industry. I mean, we were lending, we were looking for borrowers. This was a new opportunity that was created because of the role of securitization.
The firm aggressively expanded its mortgage lending and securitization operations, becoming one of the largest issuers of subprime mortgages.
Lehman Brothers. Lehman's books are loaded with troubled subprime mortgages.
I had 60 calls with Dick Fold from the time Bear Stearns went down until Lehman failed. I said, what you should be doing is you should be raising capital and you should be looking for a cornerstone strategic investor for working to sell the business.
And what did he tell you?
Well, he's an optimist, so he basically said, I've got plenty of capital. We don't have a significant risks.
But Lehman's falling stock price is telling a different story.
Financials took a big beating, Lehman down almost 20%.
In just a few months, Lehman has lost nearly half its value. Fold is enraged and blames those betting against his company, the short sellers.
I am soft, I'm lovable, but what I really want to do is I want to reach in, rip out their heart, and eat it before they die.
Lehman's involvement in subprime mortgages grew exponentially. Subprime mortgages are loans given to borrowers with poor credit histories, and they come with a higher risk of default. Lehman bundled these risky loans into mortgage-backed securities and collateralized debt obligations or CDOs. While these instruments were profitable, they were also ticking time bombs. By 2006, cracks in the housing market began to appear. Default rates on subprime mortgages started to rise, and home prices began to falter. Internally, some at Lehman were aware of the growing risks. Despite the warning signs, Lehman continued to increase its exposure to the mortgage market. They doubled down on their positions, leveraging heavily to finance their operations. As 2007 turned into 2008, the situation worsened. The housing market collapse led to massive losses on mortgage-backed securities. Lehman's stock price plummeted, and the firm found itself on the brink of insolvency.
My employees, my shareholders, creditors, clients have taken a huge amount of pain. I wake up every single night thinking, what could I have done differently? This is a pain that will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Richard Fool, Lehman's CEO, tried to reassure investors and the public, but behind the scenes, Lehman was scrambling to raise capital and find a beer. On September 15, 2008, Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy. The news sent shockwaves through the global financial system, triggering a cascade of failures and bailouts. The collapse of Lehman Brothers was a defining moment in the financial crisis. So, what exactly went wrong? To understand Lehman's failure, we must look at several critical factors: excessive leverage, poor risk management, reliance on short-term funding, and the systemic risks of the broader financial environment. 1. Excessive leverage. Lehman Brothers operated with an extremely high leverage ratio, meaning they borrowed vast amounts of money relative to their equity. This high leverage amplified their profits during good times but also magnified losses during downturns. 2. Poor risk management. Effective risk management is crucial for any financial institution. Lehman's risk management practices were deeply flawed. They underestimated the risk of their mortgage-related assets and failed to diversify their portfolio adequately. 3. Reliance on short-term funding. Lehman Brothers heavily relied on short-term funding to finance their long-term investments. This created a liquidity mismatch. When lenders lost confidence and refused to roll over short-term loans, Lehman found itself with a severe liquidity crisis. Without access to short-term funding, Lehman could not meet its immediate obligations, leading to a rapid downward spiral. 4. Systemic risks and market conditions. Lehman's collapse cannot be viewed in isolation. The broader financial environment in 2008 was fraught with systemic risks. The interconnectedness of financial institutions meant that Lehman's failure had far-reaching impacts, exacerbating the crisis. Now that we have covered all the causes, some of you now have these questions in mind. Could Lehman Brothers have been saved? So let's discuss. Could Lehman Brothers have been saved? Well, many experts believe that with different decisions and better management, the collapse might have been averted. Hypothetical, they could have saved it by 1. Risk management and diversification. A stronger focus on risk management and diversification could have mitigated the impact of the housing market collapse. By spreading their investments across a broader range of assets, Lehman could have reduced their exposure to the subprime mortgage market. 2. Regulatory oversight. Stronger regulatory oversight might have also played a crucial role. The financial environment leading up to 2008 was characterized by deregulation and a lack of stringent oversight. 3. Capital infusion and government intervention. Another potential lifeline for Lehman could have been a timely capital infusion or government intervention. Other institutions, such as Bear Stearns and AIG, received emergency support. However, Lehman was not granted the same assistance. Chapter 7. Lessons Learned and Legacy. The collapse of Lehman Brothers offers numerous lessons for the financial industry and regulators. The aftermath led to significant changes in the financial landscape, aimed at preventing a similar crisis in the future. Lesson 1. Strengthen regulations. In response to the financial crisis, the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act was enacted in 2010. This legislation aimed to increase transparency, improve risk management, and enhance regulatory oversight. Lesson 2. Enhanced risk management practices. Financial institutions have also significantly improved their risk management practices. There is now a greater emphasis on stress testing, scenario analysis, and maintaining adequate capital buffers. Lesson 3. Cultural and ethical reforms. Beyond regulatory and procedural changes, there has been a push for cultural and ethical reforms within the financial sector. The crisis highlighted the need for a shift in corporate culture towards greater accountability and ethical behavior. The story of Lehman Brothers is a cautionary tale of what can happen when risk is mismanaged and oversight is lacking. While the collapse was a dark chapter in financial history, it also sparked essential changes that have reshaped the industry. As we move forward, the lessons from Lehman Brothers remind us of the importance of vigilance, integrity, and responsibility in finance. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What other financial events would you like us to explore? Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.